I saw this in the juice box on the Discord server, and I have to go over it. The title of the person posting it says, Nazi cries about his mom not being racist like him. The title of the video is My Anti-Racist Self-Hating White Philo-Semitic Mother. What's Philo-Semitic? Oh, like love, like loving Semites. Oh my God. Philo-Semitic. So this guy's name is Shameless Spurg. He's got, let's look at some of his other videos. Let's see what this guy's all about. Let's get a taste of Shameless Spurg here. This channel is a collection of Spurg rants and commentary on the news and issues of the day from an autistically dissident, sometimes conservative, and sometimes libertarian view. From race to LGBTQ to criticisms of democracy and egalitarianism, I offer Spurgouts instead intended to demonstrate just how tired I am and how little I care anymore. Well, I'm tired and don't care either, so you know what? Perfect. Let's take a look at this tired man who does not care anymore.
Hey folks,
apparently
Spurg. Hope you're doing.
Which, by the way, I don't approve of the term spurging out. It has to do with Asperger's syndrome. It's technically not a very good thing to say. It's ableism, but it's not a slur either in my, like, if you call somebody a spurg, I guess that's kind of a slur. It's not one that I take issue with saying outright though, like I would the N-word. I would just not call somebody that. That's all.
Doing well. As usual, I don't have a whole lot of time, so I'm just trying to cram a quick video on my way.
Hold up! This man's driving and recording at the same time? That's crazy work.
From the gym. So I wanted to say thanks to my 8,000 subs that I have acquired in 2 weeks.
I don't necessarily think that, like there are ways to do that safely, but, like, he's holding his phone. You should not be holding your phone while you're recording. You gotta put that shit on a stand.
That is completely insane, and I never would have imagined.
Alec, you're awesome. My awesome what? It's YOU''RE. Thank you for everything you do. I appreciate you. Thank you. I'm sorry for being a grammar Nazi.
That was going to happen.
Welcome, Alice.
I just hopped on with an iPhone and was just like, well, you
shouldn't have.
Let's let the world know why.
Well, you know what? I haven't heard anything he has to say yet, so that I won't say that he shouldn't have. We'll see if he has a point here. I doubt it, but we'll see.
Why I'm tired. Why I did something like
he's so tired. He's a tired little baby
or whatever, and just air out my thoughts. And then 8,000 subs in 2 weeks.
Oh wait, Shiloh Hendricks was that one lady who called a baby the N-word. Like, she literally said that a baby was being the N-word because the baby stole something from her bag or something.
Okay. And
which, like, let's talk about that. Like, babies don't steal, right? Like, if you're under the age of, like, 3, you don't have a concept of what stealing means. So, like, in practice, you could call it stealing, but the intention there is not stealing. The baby was probably just curious, you know? They don't steal on purpose. It's just crazy.
And my view counter is like something crazy, like over 200,000 total views. That's completely insane. So
what's up, Hot Take Andy?
I thank you. I'm still kind of processing that, trying to figure out what to do with it, but that's awesome. But I wanted to tell the short story while I have time.
The fact that he donated to Shiloh is crazy. Am I wrong? Like, it's one thing to say that, like, Shiloh's based, she deserves the money, she slays, whatever. But then, like, to actually go and give your hard-earned dollars to somebody who literally did nothing except get caught calling a literal fetus the N-word. That's so pathetic. Like, why would you admit that you gave money to this person? That's such a pathetic move, in my opinion.
I have time for this story. So my mother, she grew up, like, she was a little girl in the 60s, and she,
we're going way back,
grew up in a time when schools were being gradually integrated racially.
Okay.
Now I'm from the South, okay? So keep that in mind too.
Okay. Hold on. No story that starts with talking about integrating schools and then saying, now I'm from the South, so understand that. Usually that's not going to lead to something good. You know what I mean?
And like my grandparents, I came to learn later in life, did have pretty standard racial views at the time. And but my mom, she was born just in time to be hit with a lot of propaganda in her impressionable mind. of all this
Oh,
equality
no.
propaganda and, you know.
No, he is a Nazi. I can already tell. No shot. He's like literally calling it propaganda for the fact that his mom. I mean, yeah, I should have guessed from the title. I don't know why I'm ignoring the title here. He called his mom philo-Semitic. That's crazy work.
Whitey bad and we should feel sorry and we got to make up for all this.
Integration is not about whitey bad. It's about black people are not bad. Are not bad. You know, like they deserve to share spaces with us. Because they're people just like us. Well, just like me. I don't know if you're a person. I think that when you become a Nazi, you like sell a piece of your humanity. Not all of it, but like a piece of it, right? Like I still don't advocate for the death penalty for you. I still think that you deserve like basic necessities and to not be tortured or anything. But like to have your opinions heard? Nope. Sorry. Nope. Like there are certain rights that I think you forfeit when you declare yourself a Nazi.
She was definitely hit very hard with that early on. And so she didn't pass racial consciousness on to me. Yeah, I remember her telling me stories about things my granddaddy used to say that would make her really uncomfortable. I'm sure you can imagine what kinds of things. Although oddly, he never really talked about those things with me. I mean, he just kind of like left it to the side. So yeah, it just didn't get passed on to me. I was growing up on the outskirts of major metropolitan.
He should have called this video, "I'm a disappointment to my mother." That would have been a better title.
Type city and in a really diverse area. Most of my extended family lived out in rural areas, and I kind of felt cut off from that. Like I had my actual family roots severed, and in every practical sense I did. Because, you know, for one thing, racial consciousness did not get passed on to me. And there was a certain like degree.
What does that mean? Like, are you saying that your mom didn't teach you how to not be racist? Because she should have. I mean, his mom sounds like a better person than he is, at least, but she might have failed a little bit here. You know what I mean? Like, she might have been a good person and a shitty parent. Like, if you can't teach your kid to not be racist, I feel like that kind of makes you a shitty parent. Now, granted, there are cases, of course, where like children will be indoctrinated by forces outside of the parents' control. It happens, you know. And there are cases of parents being like, yeah, like my son learned from teachers or other kids at school, like that bullying is fine for certain groups of people. And I'm having trouble deprogramming him from that. You know, that does happen. I'm not saying it doesn't. But for the most part, I feel like if your child turns out racist, it's probably something you did wrong as a parent, especially if you yourself are racist, then obviously you're doing something wrong. But like, if you're not racist and your child somehow turns out to be racist because you didn't properly instill in them anti-racist ideals, then yeah, you probably fucked up somewhere. I think school is important. I like the concept of school. I hated school growing up, but I think that school needs a lot of reform. But school is great. But also school. I hated school growing up. So
shame that was sort of being communicated to me. It wasn't as overt back then as it is now, but it was there.
You should be shamed.
And
you're disgusting.
I didn't like it. I mean, I guess I kind of understood.
You called your mom a Jew lover in the title of a YouTube video, dude. F you. You should feel shame.
Yeah, and I was being raised with the MLK speech bouncing around in my brain. So she didn't pass that along to me, and she always went out of her way to make sure to.
I was being raised with the MLK speech bouncing around. Like, the MLK speech was just a thing that existed to me. He's talking about it bouncing around in his brain like it was annoying him. Like what demon possessed this baby? To be like, a black man talking about black people deserving rights. Like this 12-year-old fetus, you know, like just getting so worked up over like black people having rights. That's crazy work, brother.
To tell me like, I would really be okay with, if you had a girlfriend that wasn't white, if you ended up having a girlfriend that wasn't white, if you ended up marrying someone that wasn't white, and you ended up having like,
What's
mixed
wrong
children, with that? Or say you were with a black woman and you would have this beautiful cappuccino colored baby. Like she would just go on and on and on about this stuff. And I'm just like,
so
much. Because even though I didn't have like conscious racial awareness, it just instinctually didn't sound appealing to me, and it didn't, and I got uncomfortable with this sort of talk.
What?
Like, why are you pushing this on me? And
I don't know, like, the concept of, like, accepting black people as humans fully and completely with rights, it just didn't appeal to me. It made me personally uncomfortable, you see. Like, being me, was not, I feel like my needs were not being met when they gave black people rights, personally. You know, I feel that.
I would just tell her, like, okay, I mean, that's
man.
fine. I'm glad you'd be supportive, but I like white girls. She'd be like, okay, I understand.
Oh, he's saying that, like, okay, specifically it made him uncomfortable. The thought of himself dating, like, a black girl. Yeah, that's probably because you're a racist, man. Like, why does the thought of dating a black girl make you uncomfortable? And if it does, keep that shit to yourself. I don't want to know about it. You're allowed your thoughts. I'm not thought policing you, but, like, if dating, first of all, if dating a black girl makes you uncomfortable, you should explore yourself and ask why and try to fix yourself like I did. Okay? Because, like, there was a point in time where, like, yeah, I felt like dating a black girl would have made me uncomfortable. For those who don't know, I used to be a filthy conservative. I grew up in a conservative family, and those were the values that were instilled in me. And then I thought about it for more than 2 seconds, and I'm like, you know what? This shit kind of sucks. And then I grew up. And I became a better person, and you should try that too, because I'm much happier this way. People like me more. I'm more sociable. I advocate for good things that make people's lives better. What do? You sit here and talk about your Jew-loving mother that you say is your Jew. Like it's so sad and pathetic. Like, you should be shamed. You are a man baby. You're a man baby. It's weird. You are the problem with society, man.
Understand, like, she would almost seem disappointed by this answer.
Grow up.
And it always rubbed me the wrong way. Like, fuck off, I have my preferences. Leave me alone. And, like, I didn't go off on her over it, but it grated on my nerves, and she would do this over time. I remember the last time she did it, I was in my...
This man, like, it was brought up in conversation, like, once or twice. And then this man was like, it just never left him. Like, he finds black people icky for some reason, or black girls specifically. Like, some black girl one time, like, punched him in the stomach, and he never got over it. Probably deserved it, too. You know? And he just never got over it.
Early 20s or something, and she told me that she had a dream that I went on some mission trip to Vietnam and came back with a Vietnamese wife, and she was really sweet and barely spoke any English, and I'm just like, this is repulsive. Like,
what?
It was obviously this weird...
Wait, hold on. I need to listen to that again.
Vietnamese, that she had a dream that I went on some mission trip to Vietnam and came back with a Vietnamese wife, and she was really sweet and barely spoke any English, and I'm just like...
Okay, I'm sorry. This dude's mom is weird too. I'm gonna say it. She's weird. Like, I as a mother, why are you talking? Like, no wonder he's fucked up. Sorry. Like, she fucked him up. Why are you talking to your son about, like, having dreams about him going to Vietnam and then bringing a Vietnamese wife home? Like, I don't. That's weird. That's weird. I'm sorry. That is. Like, why are you dreaming about that in the first place? And if you do dream about that, why are you sharing that? Like, I get it. Like, dreams are weird. You can't control them sometimes. But, like, that's weird. I don't know. I think that's weird.
Like, this is repulsive. Like,
I don't think repulsive. I just think it's weird.
Obviously this...
If my mom told me, like, my mom used to talk to me sometimes about, like, Russian mail order brides, you know? Be like, oh, that'd be cool, wouldn't it, son? And I'm like, that's weird, Mom. No. Like, what? No. What? I thought it was weird. I didn't turn into a Nazi because of it, but, like, I don't know. This whole thing is
weird,
mommy issues. This is a man with mommy issues. That's what this video comes down to.
Racially egalitarian fantasy that she was having. And you know what? Frankly, a lot of white Christians, white evangelical Christians, a lot of them have that. They have that fixation. Like, we have all this basically here, but let's,
I'm trying to crochet while I do this, and I'm basically just stimming with the yarn at this point. I'm not actually making anything.
Let's go do a mission trip in some bumfuck nowhere that nobody's ever heard of, and then after we leave, whatever we build will get destroyed because they won't maintain anything. Woohoo! What? Yay for Jesus. It's like that a lot. And so she had that same sort of, like, racial attitude that I encountered. And I didn't resonate with it. I was like, whatever. I mean, okay, fine. If people want to pair up with someone else.
Being not racist just personally wasn't for me, Didn't resonate with me.
Outside their race, it's really none of my business. But it always just kind of struck me as, like, eh. And to most people around me, I mean, even though they weren't, like,
oh my God, it's so good.
Bigoted people, you could just see that when anybody would spot, like, a mixed couple, you just kind of be like, eh. Or sometimes we'd be like, yeah, she looks like the kind of girl that would do that. You guys know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about.
What? No, I don't. What?
So yeah, white
Who
girls are
thinks
my
that?
thing.
You know, when I see a mixed couple, you know what I think? Nothing. I go on about my day. Literally don't think. Sometimes I'll see a gay couple and be like, oh, that's nice. When it comes to gay couples, sometimes I'll I'll think to myself, oh, that's nice that they are publicly doing that and feel comfortable doing so, because we still struggle today with homophobia, and so when people are outwardly being gay, I just think, oh, well, that's nice. I'm glad that they feel safe doing that. But when it comes to like interracial couples, I feel like that's just so like we're so past that. Not, I'm sure I know that there are circles that aren't, but like the average person these days is like so beyond caring about interracial marriage that like it just doesn't occur to me. And I hope one day we reach that point with gay couples as well.
Always. Always have been. I love white girls better than just about anything, okay? In the world.
I've talked about this before. I think it's fine to have, like, if you have preferences for, like, who you're attracted to physically, like, for instance, I like short hair, as evidenced, right? I think it's fine to have preferences for, like, the color of somebody's skin. You know, like, if you think aesthetically, like, I just think aesthetically certain skin colors are more appealing to me. I don't think there's a problem with that in general. The problem is that that's usually not the case. When somebody says that they prefer dating white women, it's not because they like are aesthetically thinking, I think that white skin looks better. It's because they think that black women are inferior. It's not a preference thing usually. It's like a superiority thing. Like I'm above dating black women. And that's disgusting. You know? Without racism, I wouldn't give a shit about somebody's preference for skin color when they're dating people. We all have preferences, it's fine. But like if you have a preference for skin color, keep that shit to yourself, okay? We don't care. And you're gonna sound like a racist if you go around sharing that. You should feel uncomfortable sharing that. I'm fine if you feel uncomfortable sharing your preferences for somebody's skin color. Sorry.
Because the beauty of the white Aryan woman must never perish from the earth. You know. And you know, so she was just droning on and on about that, and I ignored it. Of course, I stuck with my own, and I'm glad I did that. But this is all leading up to, like, probably the most...
I like men outside of the natural skin color spectrum, so what, like green men? Like you want to date a alien or a Smurf? It's interesting. I mean, it's interesting. I'm joking, but like also like, yeah, orcs. Honestly, you know what? Now that you bring it up, actually, I'm a huge hypocrite because when it comes to skin color, I have like an affinity for like greens and blues on women. For some reason, like women with green and blue skin tones, that really hits for me. Like, I guess Midna is more like not when I say black, I mean like actually like matte black, right? Like, black and turquoise, I think. Is that right? Yeah, like black and turquoise. That's beautiful. I think Midna is a beautiful lady, and I pre-transfer. I prefer her imp form personally, but she's a queen and she deserves whatever body she wants. So, she doesn't like her imp form, so whatever. I think her imp form is fucking hot. Chilai from Dragon Ball Z. Chilai. Beautiful, gorgeous. I love her. Have jerked off to her many a time. Just like goblin girls in general. I don't know. Green and blue skin is actually fire.
Most repulsive thing I ever saw, like racially speaking, out of my mother. So she always had this like. She's always been super philo-Semitic. Like she has an obsession.
So my mom's a Jew lover,
Jews,
guys.
Judaism. Maybe not Judaism per se, because she's not with like rabbinical teaching. She doesn't believe in that.
I don't know how much I believe from this guy because he's a Nazi. So like, why should I believe anything he's saying about his mom? And also, it's like really weird that he's sharing any of this, right? Like, this is weird. This is odd behavior. This man should be cast from society, okay? Force him to live in a cave far away from us.
She thinks the Talmud is not good and all that.
This is not normal. You know what is normal? Talking about how you jerk off to girls with green skin. That's perfectly normal and fine and acceptable. This man is not normal.
This obsession, and she wanted so badly to find out that she would have some Jewish genes or something. She wanted there to be like Ashkenazi somewhere in there, and so she, you know, she got
that's
tested
weird if it's true.
With 23andMe, of course, with no reason.
That's weird if it's true, but my guess is that this guy, like she said like a couple of times that like, oh, you know, Jewish people, I think they're so nice, and I've been to a bat mitzvah, and I have so many Jewish friends. Look at all my Jewish friends. And like, she might have been a little overbearing about how great Jewish people are, but I prefer that over your sorry ass. Like, you just outwardly hate them. You're calling your mom a Jew lover. To how many people? 31,000 people now think that now are watching you call your mom a Jew lover, man. That's embarrassing.
Reason to think
That's
that there would
crazy
be any
work, brother.
Jewishness. You can look at our family history, and it's all English and Scots, Irish, and German, and that's it. But she just was hoping that
You know who can't look at their family lineage? Black people in America. Just pointing that out.
maybe there just would be some.
Maybe
She
there's a
gets her
reason for
DNA
that.
test results, and she opens it up in front of me that day, and I could just see the
31,000 Nazis. Technically, I'm one of the 31K. There are a couple hate watchers. They got 48 dislikes.
disappointment. Just
A
like
lot more
wash
likes,
over her
though.
face.
It's close to
And I'm like,
31K.
what is this? And she looks up at me all like sad, and she's like, not a drop of Jewish blood. I am just plain old Lily White.
This is
And
such
I
an
just sort
odd
of
story.
squinted, like, what?
Why are you telling us this?
She's like, I feel like the red-headed stepchild of the kingdom of God. Because if you study, like, the book of Romans, you're going to find a lot of stuff
his mom
in
is
there
weird.
about, like, the Jews being the supporting
If everything he's saying is true, his mom is really weird, and it's no wonder he's fucked up.
root, and, you're being grafted in, and Like, even though it says in one place there's neither Jew nor Greek, over here, Paul's still, like, making these distinctions. Like, well, don't forget.
Dudes with
they're
mommy
they're the
issues,
first
not
ones
even
in your
once.
wild branches and all this other stuff. And salvation is of the Jews and all this. And so she felt like, she wished that she had that sort of genetic linkage, to the covenant, to the Abrahamic covenant. She wanted to feel like she was by genes, by birth, a part of that, which of course she wasn't.
Okay, well, that's a problem with her being a religious fundamentalist. That's weird. Oh, there you go. He was raised in a religious fundamentalist household. Like, his mom wanted to be like one of the holy people. That's crazy.
And she was so terribly
No wonder.
disappointed by this, calling herself just plain old Lily White. And I'm like, what mental illness is it that has my mother referring to her own ethnicity as plain old Lily White? And so I looked at my mom and I'm just like, dude, what? Like, you're disappointed with your blood? You're disappointed with your genetic results? That's disgusting. And I told her, I'm like, I'm really proud to come from the people I come from. The Celts and the Anglo-Saxons and the Germans. Like, these people are incredible. They're intelligent, creative, mighty. They did a
Dirty, disease-ridden. I mean, think about it. The Black Plague did not hit China as hard as it hit Europe. I'm just putting that out there.
amazing things, changed the course of human history many
Or
times
Africa, for
over.
that matter. Hold on, I actually don't know my history. Did the Black Plague hit Africa hard? I don't think it did, right? I think it was mainly Europe, because like Europeans would, like, while every other culture had like religious bathing rituals that they would do like 3 times a day, like Europeans were like, like even the queen one time, like she's famously quoted as saying, I forget which queen it was, but you can look this up. The quote was something like, I proudly bathe once a month. And that was considered like a luxury in Europe. Like white people, I'm sorry, I'm gonna be a little anti-white racist right now. I'm sorry, like Europeans were dirty fucking people sometimes. Not all of them, but like she said, maybe Paris, if they implemented better cleaning practices earlier on, wouldn't be so dirty.
I'm very proud.
I don't
to
know
come
anything
from
about
them.
that,
I wouldn't
so.
change anything about that. And she just sort of blinked and stared.
She says Paris is famously filthy.
The tourist sites usually aren't too bad, but other parts of Paris that like tourists don't frequent, dirty as fuck.
There you go.
At me, I'm like, this isn't good. That you should have it in your head that you're like of less value for this or something. It makes no sense.
You are like, you're right, but like you're of less value for being a Nazi, just so you know, like calling your mom a Jew lover. That's
And I was
crazy.
just so appalled by it. And then I finished up that conversation with her by looking at her and saying, look, like, if you're disappointed in your blood, well, guess whose blood is in my veins? And therefore, it's my blood too. Are you saying you're disappointed in my blood? How can you be disappointed in your blood and also
That's the first
simultaneously
fair
not
thing
be
he said,
disappointed in mine?
if this story's
Alright?
true.
So, she just didn't have anything to say about that. What do you say at that point? But to me, it amounted to that. Like, if you're going to be disappointed in your blood, you passed your blood on to me, then you must, by extension, be disappointed in my blood and wish that my blood was Jewish. But it's not, and I don't want it to be. I never have wanted it to be.
But
I
why?
just want to be
What's
what I
the
am.
problem? Like, it's not normal to be like, I never wanted my blood to be Jewish. The normal thing to say is, I don't give a shit. Like, I never got this 23andMe bullshit. You know what I mean? Like, who cares about your genetic lineage? Like, I guess it's like for novelty, for shits and giggles, to see if you're related to anybody famous. I can see that. But like in general, people are like, oh my god, I'm like 2% Cherokee. Oh my gosh, we're gonna do some Native American rituals tonight because I have my great grandfather Red Hawk in my ancestry. It's like. Who cares? Be yourself. Do the shit you want to do. You want to have like a nice Native American themed party? To have one. It doesn't matter if you guys know what I'm trying to say. Like, who cares? At best,
And
for shits and giggles.
this world just has a real problem with that. You know, whether it's whether it's through the religious angle or the political angle, like just this idea that I'm content to be this white guy and be proud of my forebears and everything, that's a serious problem for everyone. I mean, what is it? What gives? So that's tiresome. It was one of the first.
Just stop shoving it in our faces. Okay, great. You're proud to be white. I don't care. I don't care. Good for you, man. Go be proud somewhere else that's not around me.
Steps along the way to like truly like racial consciousness. Because I had to reckon with like, how can someone
listen, you can have your white pride behind closed doors. Okay, there you go.
How can someone have such severe like mental illness?
Unlike you, who's totally fine.
Regarding their own ethnicity.
Somebody who is not, I'm sorry, somebody who's mentally well does not share this story for like 30,000 people. Sorry. It's a weird fucking story, man.
System that's supposed to be like perfect and righteous and uplifting and edifying and everything. And I'm thinking to myself, really? Like, what kind of God made you feel less than? Second best, if that.
The Christian God? All the time? What? What are you talking about? That's like the whole Bible.
What kind of religion is this that you've stumbled into, and you say it's righteous, and you say it's
That's like the whole
good.
Bible.
Love, 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 and all that stuff, and here you are about to break into tears because of what you are. I mean, this is not healthy, right? I can't.
You could literally say, listen to this again. You could literally say this to like a gay or trans person, and I guarantee that this guy does not support gay and trans. He hasn't said anything about it. Maybe he's a pro-gay Nazi. You know, maybe he's one of those weird, like, I hate the Jews, I hate black people, but like gay and trans people are fine. I'm not saying they don't exist, but like I doubt it. But listen to this.
Love, 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 and all that stuff, and here you are about to break into tears because of what you are.
That's crazy that he would say that, but like he probably despises gay and trans people. I'm just saying. I'm just pointing that out. Yeah, 4chan femboy Nazis.
Healthy,
yeah,
right. I can't be alone in that.
Weird ass people.
So I just wanted to share that. Like, this is the kind of messaging that I was.
That's one part of this that I agree with him on. Yeah, it is unhealthy. If your religion teaches you to hate yourself, that's incredibly unhealthy, and you should leave whatever sect you're in.
With, you know, when I wasn't at school getting blasted with,
I agree with that,
colorblind propaganda. Which, by the way, if you didn't buy the colorblind propaganda back then, you were racist. And today, if you say you're colorblind, you're racist. So, you know, there you have it.
The point is, the people who now say they're colorblind do that to disguise their racism, okay? That's the point. There was never a point at which activists were saying you should be colorblind. There are instances in which we should, okay? You should be colorblind in most aspects of your life and in society. That is true. The problem is we can't be, because black people and people of color still do not have the same rights and privileges that we do as white people. In law, maybe, but like in practice, black people and people of color still suffer more than we do. Our average pay rates are higher. Our average like employment level is higher. Our average level of sickness and disease is lower. Our mortality rate's low. Mother mortality rate in the black community is horrifically bad. Like, it's bad in the United States in general, but like for the black community, it's like 4 times as bad. It's really fucked up.
Have it. So
that's why we can't be colorblind.
Was all that crap and all the cringe.
We have to acknowledge it.
With a picture of the earth and like a child of every single imaginable shade, color, or hue.
That's beautiful.
The
What?
Earth holding hands. You know the crap I'm talking about. And so that was everywhere. That was ever present. And then at home, I'm getting it through this.
Do you not want people of all? Does he not want people of all persuasions to get along and be happy? That's weird and gross.
It's okay if you come back from a mission trip with a Vietnamese wife, or I'm so sad.
Wait, hold on. Hold on. First, see, he just changed the story. First, it was my mom had a dream in which I came back from a mission trip with a Vietnamese wife. Then it turned into I'd be fine with that. You're changing the story, man. I don't believe you.
White, I'm not Jewish at all, blah, blah, blah. I feel like a redheaded stepchild.
What are the odds? Sorry, I keep pausing. What are the odds that his mom is perfectly normal and he's just bullshitting all of this? Pretty good, right? Like his mom is just completely normal. Maybe like a little bit weird about like a liberal, you know, like, oh, like look, all these Jewish people and they're all great people, even though they're Jewish. Like doing the weird liberal thing of like being kind of racist, but like in a way that, but like almost demeaning people of other races, like at worst, right? But like I'll bet his mom's perfectly normal, and he's just bullshitting this because he's a Nazi.
Oh man, unreal. So I guess that's all I got to say for now, folks. I don't have a whole lot of time. I got a couple of cool things I want to make,
like on this
but
earth.
I'm really gonna need to sit down with some quiet free time to do it. So until then, I hope you are all doing well.
I hope that's what he meant.
I thank you again. 8,000 subs in 2 weeks is completely crazy.
Yeah, I don't care. Really, really weird story to tell, brother. Somebody who is mentally well does not say those things or call their mom a Jew lover. Bizarre. Really bizarre stuff. Hey, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please be sure to hit the like button, subscribe if you want to see more, hit the notification bell to be notified when I upload. If you enjoy my content, you enjoy what I do, I really appreciate any financial help that I can get. Go to youtube.com/AlecGunterTTV/join. You got some awesome benefits such as seeing early videos, awesome emotes that you can use in the comments of YouTube videos, and a sweet badge next to your name. So if that sounds interesting to you, I'd really appreciate if you join. It is cheaper than the cost of a blowjob from your mom. So with all that being said, thank you again for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.